Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome Anette Olzon to the program today. How you doing, Anette?
Well, thank you. I'm just super. How are you?
I am doing excellent. We were chatting offline there for a minute. You say it's coming up spring over there in Sweden where you are. I am in the midst of the doldrums of winter over here.
Yeah, but that's, actually we haven't had any real winter here. That's the problem. We only had like plus degrees and gray, rainy weather all winter long. So spring is coming, but there hasn't actually been any winter. So,
well, I'll tell you what's brightened things up for us over here is this lyric video that you have released from this fantastic album that you did with Russell Allen called Worlds Apart, coming out March 6th on Frontiers Records. Fantastic track, and I've been lucky enough to get a stream of the entire album. This is a really incredible project. You must be proud of your work on it.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy you enjoy it. And yes, I'm actually really honored to be singing with Russell, of course. And I'm very happy with the results. It's been a pleasure to do this album.
Now, you've been a very busy lady because it wasn't all that long ago. You released Dark Element, and now you're doing the Anette Olzon. You've got all kinds of projects going on. How do you manage to find the time for it all?
Well, it was actually, this was recorded last spring, like 1 year ago. And when I got the question to do this, I was actually recording the Dark Element second album. So I was first saying like, well, can we do it in the autumn? I'm quite busy.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, you have to do it now. So I just entered the studio, first one album, and then straight to the studio. And I do have a regular job, actually. So I'm working as a nurse.
Right.
So it was like working full time, Monday to Friday, then entering the studio, recording. So it was a bit busy, and I was quite happy I got some vacation in the summertime. But, it's fun still. I love to sing, so it's great. And I'm really happy that they asked me to do all these kind of fun stuff. That's fantastic.
So I take it you and Russell weren't in the studio together then, or was this one of those that sort of put together worlds apart, No pun intended?
Exactly. Like I say, it's a worlds apart album. He recorded at his place, and I recorded here at my place, and then we sent the files to the mixing guy and the producer Magnus, and the magic happened. So it was very internet. And, how we do things today, we don't have to meet each other.
Yeah. Did you ever chat at all, or Skype, or phone, or anything during the process with Russell or Magnus or anybody, or was it all via email and everything?
Actually, me and Magnus have met. We met after we started the recordings. We were out like in a show, and I met him, and then I met him a couple of times. He lives very close by to me, actually. He lives like half an hour from where I live here in Sweden. But yeah, I haven't met Russell. I've emailed him a little bit. When we wanted to do actually a real video with both of us in it, we tried to get that together, but Russell had just finished some touring, and he was a soccer dad. Yeah. I think he has his kid in a team where he's a coach or something. So he didn't want to leave his family, and that's totally acceptable.
Right.
So yeah, we have emailed, but we have never met in Skype or seen each other.
How about the writing of this album? Do you have anything to do with lyrics or music, or was that all sent to you and you just interpreted?
Yeah, I mean the whole album was done when I joined the project. So it's only Magnus Carlson who has made all the lyrics and the music for this. The only thing I and Russell have contributed with is, of course, our voices, and I've done harmonies in my own way, and some screams here and there, and all those things. That's my doing, from my point. Yeah.
This is sort of fascinating to me then, because when you heard the tracks, did they have Russell's vocals on them at all, or was there just a guide track, or how did that work?
Actually, when I entered the studio, Russell had started to record, so I think I got 3 or 4 songs with his voice on, and then the other voice, which was mine, was actually sung by Magnus. So it was 2 guys, and then I had to form it and make my own melody lines and put it up and stuff. So and then actually 1 or 2 songs I recorded before Russell, and then he got me and Magnus.
Okay.
So, but it was fun. It was nice to hear the end result.
You definitely. Did you find that, like, say on the tracks where you could hear his vocal, first, did you find like it was sort of being in the studio with him and he sort of pushed you? You sort of pushed each other to perform?
For sure. Yeah, for sure. Because like when you put those headphones on and you have his voice, and then you take away Magnus when you're in the studio, it's only him. I mean, of course, and I had to follow him in those songs, of course, in the choruses. I need to sing like him, even if I sing a harmony above him. So it gave me power, of course, to hear him. So it was almost like we were in the same studio, but we were worlds apart. So.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about a few of the tracks. I hate to spoil it for people who haven't heard it, but I also love to talk to the artist about, sort of what I hear and if I'm hearing it correctly or anything. What If I Live? My note here says, crescendo of vocals to open, epic. What do you remember about that one?
Well, it is a really good track. I think it's not a fast song. It's like you say, it's more crescendo. It gets bigger. I think it's a really, really nice song, and the lyrics are really good, and it's a sad song in many ways.
Yes.
But I think vocal-wise, it's working really well with Russell and me, and the feeling in the interpretation. So yeah, it's one of my favorites. It's really good. Very
cool. The other two, and I've got the same notes, sort of. I wrote this for No Sign of Life, and then when I got to One More Chance, I wrote ditto. I love the sparseness of the opening, but then the intensity of the chorus was just powerful on both of those songs.
Yeah, I mean, those are my favorites. Those are actually my two favorites in the whole album. So it's a good choice that you say, because One More Chance, when I got that, I thought like, well, a melodic AOR kind of catchy tune. That was what I was like, okay, what's going to be with this one? But then when I started to record it and you could put your power into the choruses and everything, the end result, and of course the very ending where I go quite high, I was like, should I scream here now or should I take it a bit, carefully? But I did it, and Magnus was like, yeah, you took it with the scream voice. And then No Sign of Life is just amazing. I love the whole song. It's such a power in the chorus. And yeah, favorite.
Well, my personal favorite, I'm glad I asked you those. Mine was Cold Inside. It just absolutely touched me, and I got almost sort of like a 60s type ballad sound out of maybe in the cadence in your vocal or the way that the song was formed or something, like a Leslie Gore type of vibe, out of that one.
Yeah.
Am I even close?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, that's also like a very soft and kind of fragile song for me. And I wanted it, the lyrics are like so, and I wanted it to be about that feeling. And I think you're quite spot on in many ways in that. And it's a really nice little tune.
Yeah, like I said, you listen and you're hearing songs and you're like, these are really good. And then you get to that one track, every once in a while that just touches you. And that's what Cold Inside did for me. It just absolutely touched me. It was,
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah.
As a singer, you always want to evoke emotions in the listener. And that's really important for me, especially in a softer song.
Yeah.
To really get that lyric out. And if it's a fragile, sad song, you should be able to put that out in how you sing it. So that's really nice of you. But I think it's a very nice song too.
Yeah, I mean, and just to give you a little background, I was listening to this album while I was taking my daughter to her gymnastics class. And I have 3 hours to kill, so I just, I slapped the headphones on with my laptop. And to be in all that sort of chaos of these girls, twisting and twirling all over the place, and to hear that and be able to feel emotion it's something to be taken away in that sort of realm, when you're
For
in that
sure.
room. Yeah.
Then it worked.
Yeah, definitely.
I did my job.
Yes, you did. Very well. Now, you mentioned something about trying to get you and Russell together for a video. Are there any more videos coming?
Actually, I was sitting there thinking today, because, you get this kind of time schedule from the record label quite some months before, like, on that date we will release this. And I was like, when was it? Should there be, I think one other song would be released. I actually thought already with Russell, but no video, I believe. And then they would do another, but I can't find the email, so I'm not quite sure. But if there is one, I guess it will be out. But there will not be like a physical video, unfortunately, with me and Russell. They try to make like a video with me only, but nah. Yeah, pity. But maybe a next album.
Yeah.
We can do it.
So you see a second album coming at some point, maybe?
It's always about if people buy the album,
Right.
That's always. But you always have options for other albums when you sign a deal with the record label. So if it sells good, they will probably release another one with us, of course. Yeah.
So you recorded this last spring. It's coming out this spring. You got Dark Element. You're studying to be a nurse. What else is on your plate right now? I mean, as if that wasn't enough. Any more musical stuff coming out? You said this was sort of a secret project.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually, and I'm not studying anymore. I am a nurse.
Okay, you are a nurse. Okay.
So I'm working, but no problem. There will be, I'm doing some stuff this summer, which is still not out. It's some project again.
Yeah.
And I've actually also started to work on a new solo album from me. So that's what I'm doing this year. And then we also have 2 shows in the summertime festivals in Finland with the Dark Element.
Okay. I got to go back then. If you're not studying, when you were studying to be a nurse, plus doing music, plus a mother and a family and everything else, how in the world do you find balance and all that? It must be extremely difficult at times.
Well, the thing is that it's like a spiral effect. So when I get a question to do something like with this, then I had 2 albums after another. Yeah. So it was a very hectic spring, and I didn't study, of course. I was working, but still I was quite a new nurse, and then you have to get into a job, and of course the kids and everything. But I do mainly studio sessions in the weekends when I'm off, and we're quite fast workers, me and Niklas, who I record with. So normally I can record an album in just a couple of weekends. Okay. So I'm not taking that long to record. I take like 2 or 3 takes mainly. Okay. I'm quite fast.
Fairly fast process then.
Fairly fast. We drink a lot of coffee also, so sometimes I'm there for some hours just because we're just talking and drinking coffee and doing no singing. Yeah, but no. But then I also have, of course, support from my husband and that helps. You know, he lets me go. He says, "Okay, go to the studio."
Yeah. Now, refresh my memory. You did the Dark Element and then the Anette Olzon, like sort of back to back or at the same time?
No, I recorded first the Dark Element, and then I immediately went, like maybe 1 or 2 weeks after started to recording this.
And with your voice, you had no issues. Was the 2 weeks enough rest? Or I mean, obviously you know how to use your voice, but still, that's a pretty heavy workload, isn't it?
Yeah, and I was actually, you always in a process you get some kind of cold or flu, but it didn't affect me so much. I think I had it with the Dark Element, but it just, the good thing is that you can always do like 3 or 4 hours, and then you can go home and rest for a week, and then you do the next weekend. Okay. So it didn't affect me at all. It worked really well.
Okay. I want to talk to you a little bit about your past. You came from a musical family. Your mom forced you to play the oboe when you were young?
Well, she will say that I'm lying, so we disagree.
Okay. You agreed to disagree on that, eh?
He always says in the interview that I forced you to play the oboe. I didn't. And I say, yes, you did. So, this is like an argument we have.
Okay. But the oboe was definitely a part of your past. Do you still play it all, or?
I played I played oboe for 8 years.
Okay.
And like you said, if you want to know more about my background, I come from a very musical family where everyone played an instrument on my mother's side, like grandfather, my uncles all play in bands, and she was singing, and my brother was playing 7 instruments, so it was like totally noisy all the time in my home.
Wow.
And I actually started, my mom says I like sang already when I was just a couple of years, like just sitting around like la 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 la, you know.
Right.
And then I started to I went with my mom a lot, you know, when she was out playing every weekend with her bands in different countries and such. So then she, you know, I stood at my home, and then one time, I think I was 10, they asked if I wanted to sing with the band for the first time. So I think that was when my first like show was, when I sang a song for audience.
Wow. Do you remember what the song was?
Yeah, it was a Swedish Eurovision Song Contest song, like here in Sweden,
okay,
called Dag After Dag. It's Day After Day.
Okay.
It was 2 girls, so it was me and my bonus sister. We did that one.
Okay.
And it was, I looked down all the time. I couldn't see. I didn't want to look at the audience, but you know, we were cute.
Very good. Very cool. One of your first bands I read was a band called Take Cover, which was a cover band. It didn't really last all that long, but sort of led me to a question I wanted to ask. If you could do a cover of a song, is there a song you've always wanted to cover that you never have, that you always thought, man, I'd really like to take a crack at singing that?
There are many. In that band, actually, we did a lot of nice songs. Like we did a lot of Creedence Clearwater Revival and Cocaine, you know, the old one.
Oh, yeah.
And then we did like modern songs too, like Roxette and stuff. But
sure,
if I could do a cover of a song, actually, there's one song, I mean, I don't know if I want to do a cover, but there's one song I really love, and it's the whole album is The Greatest Showman, you know, the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the movie?
I never have, no.
Ah, it's amazing. You have to see it. Greatest Showman with, what's it, Hugh Jackman?
Okay.
Yeah. But there's one song that is sung by some talent artist in America. Can't remember the name, but that song, yeah.
Okay.
So that would be nice, yeah.
Yeah. And then I read one of your vocal influence was Natalie Cole. That kind of surprised me a little, but didn't, you know, because I know artists draw inspiration from a lot of different people. But how did she inspire you?
Well, it wasn't mainly just her, but in my home, we didn't listen to metal or rock. It was like my mom sang in more like, we say here in Sweden, dance bands, you know, more like, where people dance when you have a band. But they listened a lot to jazz and fusion and Natalie Cole, and my mom loved all these kind of music styles. So that was what I heard. And Natalie Cole, I think I sang a lot to her. Because what I did was, how I learned to sing was that I just stood in my living room, put on an album with Whitney Houston or Natalie Cole or anyone, and then I just followed them, and I sang like them. And that's how I learned.
Right.
So Natalie Cole, she's been a great influence. And Whitney Houston too, of course. There are so many, and but she's great. Was great. Maybe she's gone. I don't know.
Very cool. Talking with Anette Olzon about the latest album from Frontiers, Russell Allen, Anette Olzon duets called Worlds Apart. There's a lyric video out now. The album comes out March 6th on Frontiers Music. Anette, I always like to wind things up with some fun questions. I'm hoping these are questions you've never been asked before. If you could blink and appear anywhere in the world, where would you like to go?
A high mountaintop, like I don't know where, but some really high, maybe Mount Everest, just like boom, and I was up. I didn't have to climb it. I was just there, and I could look down.
Very cool. Would you rather have a pause or a rewind button on your life?
Pause.
Pause? Yeah, I'll bet that, just to take a break. I could have seen that one coming. Definitely. Would you rather go back in time and meet your ancestors or forward in time and meet your great-great-great-grandchildren?
Oh, I would go forward in time.
Move forward?
For sure.
Okay. Late at night and you're hungry, what are you going to grab for a midnight snack?
Probably a protein bar or some protein pudding.
Okay. Current cell phone ringtone.
Oh, I have one of those ordinary. I don't have like some people have
Yeah.
songs for every person. I have one of those. Actually, I can't sing it because I don't remember. But one of those that are in the iPhone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. Let's see. Favorite toy growing up as a child?
I was one of those Barbie girls.
Barbie girls?
I played with and I played with Barbie dolls, until I was maybe 12. I love them, and I
Nice.
played like every day.
Nice. Last one, and this is one we have the most fun with. If they were to make a movie of your life, what actress would you have picked to play you in the movie? And it's your life, your movie. You can pick anybody.
Like both as a child or just as an adult?
Sure, either way.
What?
Either way or both.
Well, an adult, I would pick an actor. God, that's really hard. Yeah, maybe Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
She's good.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
She could do me. Yeah.
All right. Just to bring us back to the musical realm here, what makes a great front person for a band? You know, if a young lady or a young man came up to you and said, I really want to be, I really admire your work, I want to do what you do someday, what advice can you give me?
I think, just be yourself, because I think the problem is when you try to go on stage and be someone you're not, to please the audience in some way, be cooler than you are, or it won't come naturally. So like I like to dance around and be a bit silly, and I've always been like that. So I think just be yourself and don't think so much about that there's a lot of people there. Do it for yourself mainly, Singing is really important to know that you do it for yourself. So be yourself. It's a good advice, I think.
Very, very cool. Talking to Anette Olzon here for Let's Discuss with Lancel. Once again, the Alan Olzon album, Worlds Apart, coming out on Frontiers March 6, 2020, as they say. Anette, is there anything I haven't asked you about that you think, I wish someone would ask me this?
Oh, I think you had really good questions, and I really like these last ones.
Okay.
That's fun because normally you just answer what song is that about, the lyrics.
Yeah.
No, I think you have asked a lot of really good questions, so I'm really pleased with your questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Good luck forward with everything that you've got going on in your life. As a father of 4, I know exactly what you're up against at times.
You know how it is.
I know it.
How old is your youngest child?
He is 11. I have 2 boys and 2 girls. 11, 14, 16, and 18.
Oh my God. Well, it's quite easy for you now, I guess.
It's getting there, but it's still very active.
Okay, yeah, but my smallest one, he's like 7 now.
Okay.
So I'm getting to your a little bit more easy parenting situation.
It's getting there.
That's good.
Well, you take care of yourself, Annette, and we'll definitely want to encourage everyone to grab this album once it comes out on March 6th. Once again, Alan Olzon, Worlds Apart. Fantastic work, Annette. Be very proud. It is excellent stuff.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy that I got to talk to you, and I wish you a blessed weekend.
Yeah, you as well. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.